What's up, guys? Thank you again for joining me for bobKOTOR's gaming news. Today, I'm here to talk to you about DICE not releasing any more Battlefield 4 DLC until the game is fixed, Riot Games stipulating what their pro players can and cannot play on stream, and Reggie Fils-aime possibly being in the next Smash Brothers game. So for my first story of the day, DICE and EA's Battlefield 4 had a great launch to start, great game sales, players being online almost all the time, but now they've run into a couple snags. The game has had a ton of graphical glitches, almost game-breaking issues in some cases, where it's hit detection, lagging, game crashing, corrupting save files, you name it, it's probably there. So, in response to this, EA and DICE have formally said that they're actually going to be pulling people from other DICE projects that are going on right now to make sure Battlefield 4 gets fixed. They're trying to figure out every issue possible. They were supposed to come out with a patch very recently, but had delayed it in favor of adding more to the patch and making sure that everything that's needed to be in there is done. Now, the one confusing part is they delayed the patch, but the first expansion to Battlefield 4, China Rising, was released the day that they were supposed to release the patch. So now even more people are trying to get on the game and are unable. Now, at first, obviously this seems like another terrible story of EA not doing what they should have done. But I kind of have to applaud EA and DICE in this sense, formally announcing that they know that there's something wrong with the game and they are going around to fix it as fast as humanly possible by even pulling people off of other projects, which you didn't really get that with SimCity. You didn't really get EA's urgency to help their consumer. So EA has been rated the worst company in America, I believe 2 years running, but I think they're getting better. I want to say they're much better than being the worst company in America, but regardless of what I believe, they are getting better. And hopefully the issues with Battlefield 4 will be resolved soon enough. And my second story of the day, Riot Games, makers of League of Legends, if you didn't already know this, have their own esports league devoted entirely to League of Legends called the LCS. And the reason why I bring up the LCS is Riot just handed out their contracts to the professional players for the Season 4 coming up very, very soon. Now, the reason why I bring this up is in the contract there's a stipulation that caught a lot of eyes. The fact that they are much more heavily than they were previously restricting what games players can and cannot stream on their own personal streams. Now, this means if a player is on twitch.tv, Ustream, Azubu, they can generally stream their own gameplay of League of Legends. You can go on probably at this very moment and find a few pro players on right now. But the reason why I bring this up is it's now being restricted even further what's actually on these streams. Admittedly, they were restricted previously, but to my knowledge, it was generally just other MOBA games like a Smite, Dota 2, Heroes of Naworth, so on and so forth. But now they're actually getting into other genres and other games entirely, like MMOs, Blizzard's Hearthstone is on there, so on and so forth. And a lot of people seem to be upset about this is by the fact that it's the player's personal stream and it's on the player's own free time. So in theory, they should be able to do what they want. But from Riot's perspective, the only reason that that player has fans on that stream in the first place is because of League of Legends, and they don't want the players advertising a different game aside from League of Legends. So it's understandable on both ends. I mean, again, I understand Riot's point a bit more, because especially if the players are going to be streaming it in the first place, they're using it to get themselves more famous for the sport or the game that they're already in. That's my perspective. If you have another perspective, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. But again, that's just me. And my last story of the day. This is a story that I had found out actually about today, that Reggie Fils-aime, president of Nintendo America, recently said that Masahiro Sakurai, the game director for the new Super Smash Bros. Game coming out on the Wii U and 3DS, had told him that if he gets 100,000 signatures on a petition online, which I'll be putting down in the description below, that he'll be putting Reggie in the new Smash Bros. Game as a playable character. Now, who knows if that's actually going to happen, but the petition is definitely a thing. So I'm going to be putting that in the link below. Last time I checked, it had about 41,000 signatures on it already. Again, who knows if they'll actually put him in, but the fact that this is even a thing, to me, is hilarious. And part of me hopes they actually do, even as one of those side characters that come from one of the items, because it's just hilarious to see an executive for a company as a playable character just due to his sheer popularity with Nintendo's entire fan base. I've always been a huge Reggie Fils-aime fan, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Nintendo overall, but nobody can deny his antics or anything like that in interviews or even on stage for Nintendo's conferences. He's been a great character, really, for Nintendo just as much as any of their game characters. And the quote from Reggie himself that if he is in the game, he wants his final smash to be called the "My Body is Ready" slam. Yes, if he's in the game, that's an instant buy for me. Instant buy. And that's all the stories I got for you this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a comment or a thought, feel free to throw it down in the section below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you liked the video enough, feel free to give it a share. But I do want to apologize again, because I know it's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks since my last video. With the holidays and things like that, and just getting busy with work or just life in general, I haven't been able to get on and actually film these videos as much. I'm going to be hopefully getting back on track now, though. But I just wanted to thank you guys again for watching, and have a great night.